Elliott Wilson backs up Maul's wild claims that Jay-Z begged Drake to perform at the Super Bowl multiple times.
Sources have told me that Drake has indeed turned down the Super Bowl. He actually turned down the first two, the one in Miami and the weekend one.
That was the first two that Jake took over?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jay takes over, and again, his rival, whatever, Drake, like you talk about all these history and this back and forth. I mean, these guys are all rivals with each other. They've had their good times and bad times with each other. But business-wise, Jay-Z wanted Drake on that Super Bowl stage, and he turned it down twice.
What up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Keep sending those cash apps to CLBMG. Now, you may say, Charles, Elliott Wilson never said that Jay-Z begged Drake to perform multiple times. So let's break it down. If Elliott Wilson is going justice for Maul, because I found sources that say that Drake was asked 2 years in a row. The first year was when he turned it down and J-Lo and Shakira performed. And then the second year he was asked and then he turned it down and The Weeknd performed. Those are the 2 years that Jay-Z was controlling or basically in charge of who performed at the Super Bowl. Now, if someone asked Drake in that time who had the power to put him in the position, it would have had to have been Jay-Z, right? Who could Drake say asked me and could turn down other than Jay-Z? So by that account, it had to be Jay. There is no one person that can get on the phone with Drake, according to Maul, 4 times in a row. What one person could that be that could guarantee Drake enough juice to say, I turned it down? So in this scenario, Drake is trying to say Jay-Z asked him 4 times and he said no 4 times in a row, according to Maul. If we're doing justice for Maul, like Elliott Wilson said. Now, let's get to Elliott Wilson. Elliott Wilson said when he first heard it, he thought it was cap, but then he checked with his sources, whoever the sources are, right? They told him, yeah, for I think it was 2020 and 2021, whichever those years were, the first 2 years, he was asked and he turned him down 2 times. So at least Maul is saying 4 times, Elliott Wilson is saying 2 times, but at the end of the day, they're both saying that Jay was begging Drake and Drake kept turning him down. So let's let that make sense. Jay-Z, a man that's a billionaire who has a frenemy relationship with Drake. You're telling me when he first got in charge of the Super Bowl and he's looking for actually scouring around because he's desperate. He's so desperate, right? He's going to beg Drake every single year. And Drake is going to turn it down I hope I'm good every single year. You're going to be the first rapper to headline a Super Bowl. All you do is talk about numbers and shifts in the algorithm and how you move the culture, and you're going to turn it down 4 years in a row? And then you're going to try to tell me that not only did he turn it down, that Jay went and put The Weeknd on his arch enemy. And then according to Maul, he asked him again after that. And now he's putting his other arch enemy on Kendrick. So now you're telling me Drake is turning it down, and every time he turns it down, he goes and gets his arch enemy to fill the slot. And then asks him again. You're telling me that Hov is just begging this dude on the phone. The same dude that snaked his wife with the House EDM album, put his out before her. He worked on hers, and then when she was done with hers, he dropped and threw one together and dropped it out before her, so he could be the first one with the House EDM album. That guy is who Jay is begging on the phone. Elliott Wilson, make it make sense, and I'm going to try to work with you, bro. I'm going to try to work with you, right? Because in my mind, I try to be fair and I try to figure things out as fairly as possible. So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm telling you before I tell you the story is bull. It's a BS. It's a BS. It's an illogical story. But I'm going to try to weave it in the best case scenario. First of all, this is a lie. I'm just going to be honest. Drake saw that Kendrick was getting this pub for the Super Bowl. He saw the Super Bowl commercials. No round twos, right? He got on the phone with Maul, late night keying, right? And told Maul, man, I turned that down 4 or 5 times already. It's trying to diminish Kendrick's world stage. So let's say at this point, I'm about to tell you the story that I'm going to try to cover Elliott Wilson. I'm going to try to do a wild-eyed story of how it could have got to where he felt he had the right sources. I'm going to tell you a fictional tale of why Elliott Wilson is telling you this lie. But I'm going to keep it where I was at now. He had to somehow diminished Kendrick's. First of all, Kendrick won and has been going skyrocketing since, and his stuff has been going down. Now he is at the Super Bowl, the biggest thing in the country. This is the biggest thing in the world, right? I don't hear about no World Cup, that we don't care. We're in America. We don't care about that. Some of us watch it, but most of us don't give a damn about no World Cup. So we're talking about the Super Bowl. In America, it's the Super Bowl. That's the biggest thing to us, right? Can we agree on that? So end of the day, Kendrick is doing the biggest thing that we care about. Everybody's going to be watching worldwide, 1 billion people. Drake hears this, he got to get on the phone with Maul. Now, why you didn't tell Maul this a year ago? I turned the Super Bowl down 4, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, why you tell, like, but now, so Kendrick gets announced a thing where we're going to diminish it. Oh, Drake could have been did that. That's what dudes do when they're trying to like, oh, I could have been hit that. Right? So now I could have been hit the Super Bowl. That's nothing, right? Biggest the what? I could have been did that, da-da-da. Let's ask yourself, why would he turn it down? We know why Jay would turn it down, because Jay low-key cares about the culture. And at the time, the Super Bowl was a bad look when they asked Jay to do it. So he's like, nah, I don't want to do it. I'm good. Drake don't care nothing about the culture. Drake don't care nothing about black people. So why would he turn the Super Bowl down in regards to blackness? It makes no sense. So that's not why he turned it down. So if he turned it down, it would have to be a thing where he thought he was bigger than the Super Bowl and he didn't need it. Right? That's the only reason Drake would turn it down. It can't be no conflict of interest. What kind of tour is bigger than the Super Bowl? Then some of these goofies like, oh, Drake don't do work for free. It's not for free. You're going to get more money after you do the Super Bowl than you were getting before it. It don't make no sense. So what reason would it be to turn the Super Bowl down? Because of Jay's asking you? So then if you turned it down to Jay the first time, why would he ask you again next year? And then a year after that? And then a year. So he's begging you. He's begging you. Right? Let's just be honest. At this point, if Jay's asking you multiple times, he's begging you. That's why I use begging in the title. Because in the real world, if I'm asking you 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4, I'm begging you now. Right? So allegedly, Jay is on the phone every year begging this dude to do the Super Bowl. That's what he wants us to believe. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I think it's a lie. And then Elliott Wilson, your credibility is shot dead. It's a dead dog in the street. Because you backed up Maul talking about justice for Maul. I got it on good authority. I got it on some good sources. Well, guess what? The Bloomberg magazine got an article saying that it's all a lie. Drake was never asked. He was never on the decline list. He was never on the something else to do, because they keep a record of that. Right? They probably got it in the back under suckers list. Oh, this sucker declined the Super Bowl, right? Jay-Z probably on the suckers list. He know it. He declined it. They probably say he the sucker. At the end of the day, the Super Bowl is huge for you. I guarantee you, Usher's quote went up. Usher, you can't book Usher for what you could get him for before he did the Super Bowl. You can't get him for that no more. Right? Let's just be honest. So why would Drake turn down a direct call from Hov saying, yo, do the Super Bowl? Okay, maybe first year. Okay, maybe I couldn't do it. Remember he had towards ACL or something. So, okay, he probably could jump around and do the Super Bowl like he wanted to. But what about next year? What about the year after that? How many years I'm going to ask you, you keep slapping me in the face, right? And we already determined that Hov don't have the final decision anyway. So how can Hov ask you directly knowing he don't have the decision to make it? Make it make sense. But I'm going to give you this scenario, this wild-eyed scenario, to try to give you some insight, to try to save Elliott Wilson's dead-ass credibility that is completely shot. You go on a podcast stage and say, yeah, I got it on good authority. You should have, whatever sources told you that, you should have not repeated it. You should have kept that tuck in your bag, because now you're looking crazy, because the NFL came out and said there was never any offer to Drake. There was never any offer at all to Drake. No year. You done got the NFL riled up and worked up about this situation. Lil Wayne on TV, on videos crying about, I'm hurt, it broke me. Okay, Wayne, we get it, that's fine. But at the end of the day, it was never yours to be broken about. You was never promised that. I'm just sorry to tell you. The only reason Wayne, I'm just going to be all of the circles around Jay-Z, the only reason Wayne thought he had a shot was because Jay-Z's on the panel. He never had a shot. And he obviously didn't get it. When Jay-Z got on the panel, there was no rappers on there before Jay. So now Jay-Z's on the panel. He's thinking, oh, snap, I really got a chance. That's my man in there. I really got a shot now. But he never had a shot. So I'm going to wrap this up, right? The problem with this story that Elliott Wilson is trying to tell us is that Jay-Z not going to beg Drake. Now, let me give you the wild-out scenario to try to save face for Elliott Wilson. Elliott Wilson has a direct line to Jay-Z. And again, I'm just, this is a fabricated tale. When Elliott Wilson says he has sources, he could be literally saying, my source is Jay-Z, and he told me that he asked Drake, right? This is a wild-ass tale that I'm trying to rationalize why he would think he could come out with solid source. I have solid sources. So maybe Drake, maybe him and Jay in passing was like, yeah, I mentioned it to Drake. But Jay mentioning it to you doesn't mean you automatically have it. And Jay saying, yo, you want to do the Super Bowl? You're like, nah, I'm good. That don't mean you turned it down 4 times. Again, this is a wild-eyed tale. The only reason Elliot could, any source that he could come out definitively saying, I know for a fact that he was asked, it has to be Jay-Z. In this wild-eyed tale of him having a source, the source has to be Jay-Z. And Jay-Z could have been like, I ran into Drake at a party, and I was like, yo, you want to do the Super Bowl? He's like, nah, I'm good. So that's the turn down. That's the only way that makes sense. There is nobody else on earth that Elliott Wilson should be quoting as a source in regards to this, because nobody else has the power to give him that. And for him to turn it down 4 years. And I'll put anything on my life. Ain't no way a man of Jay-Z's stature, this dude don't even have a cell phone for you to call him. You got to email him. He don't even be wanting to talk to people. That he's hitting up Drake 4 years in a row to do the Super Bowl, and he's turning him down 4 years. Even twice. I don't even see him asking him twice. It don't make no sense, bro. I'm just being honest. So that even that wild-eyed story that he heard from Jay himself, yo, yeah, I ran it past him and he said no. That's not a turn down. That's him seeing if you interested, he checking the temperature. You said no, okay, we moving on. That ain't no, I turned down the Super Bowl. Because the NFL came out with a list. We got a list who turned it down. He ain't nowhere on there. So that's not, you didn't get a real offer. You got an impasse. I'm assuming that he got an impassing. Him and Jay was kicking, and Jay was like, yo, you what you think? I'm the connect. I could get you in there. What's good? And Drake was like, nah, just on some da-da-da. Because him and Jay is frenemies low key. He don't want to get it through Jay. I'm just being honest. He don't want to get the Super Bowl forever. He could, Jay in the back of his mind, I put him on there. In the back of Drake's mind, him getting the Super Bowl through Jay ain't gonna work. That's his ego. He don't want the Super Bowl if it got to come through Jay. I'm just telling you what it is. So if he turned it down, he only got asked once, and it was in passing from Jay. And the only reason he wouldn't take it is because it's from Jay. You know how in the hood, a dude, y'all okay, but you don't want to connect if it's from him. No matter how good it is, you don't want it through him. He don't want to connect through Jay. I'm just telling you what it is. So no, he didn't turn on the Super Bowl. He turned down Jay-Z. And now he's going to make it like he bigger than the Super Bowl. No, he wanted, trust me. And right now, Drake desperately needs that Super Bowl now. Drake ain't been #1 in quite some time since this Kendrick thing. So let's just be like this. Kendrick is going to be the halftime act at the Super Bowl. Drake never turned down the Super Bowl. He turned down Jay. Prior in passing, a little quick comment. You want to do it? Yo, I'm the plug. You want? Nah, I'm good. That's the extent. So for all the Elliott Wilsons and malls and this and that and academics, it never happened. It's a lie. And I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you think. CLBMG, hit in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you feel that any of this is plausible to you. All right? CLBMG, go to the website, check it out. We got music over there. We got gear down in the comment, below. Make sure you buy something off the site and share the video. Subscribe. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.